Okay, trying to knock out the Hintertombs quickly. It seems that a lot of people just straight up skip this one. I've already opened this lever, but that's all I've done. Quick note, I'm going to start... Piggy for a boss fight. I'm going to start putting timestamps of boss fights in the description. So instead of editing videos, I promised myself that I would never get into editing videos or get back into it. It's just too time consuming. I'd rather spend that time playing games. So I'm going to put the timestamps so that you guys that care at all about watching me fight stuff but don't want to see me go through these like maze-like portions, you'll know where to go to. I feel like that's a good compromise. But yeah, I looked up some guides. Actually, I had a comment that laid out the difficulty levels, which I appreciated. And then I did some more research, and yeah, it seems like a lot of people just straight up skip the Hintertombs. I guess there's not a lot of like materials and stuff that you need for the later, like tougher dungeons to do gem farming and that kind of thing, which I don't know that I'll get into. I'm a sucker for farming. I definitely can get sucked into things like that, but I don't know. The appeal to do it in this game isn't very high to me. It seems like the only reason to do it is to get more damage. And other than just being a completionist, or other than just doing it for the joy of farming and getting that thing that's hard to get, like, I don't really see the need to go out and get a whole lot more damage. I mean, it's like on the contrary, the more you play the game, the more I feel like lowering your damage actually makes it more fun. I'm not at that point yet. Like, I'm not looking to get myself too much. I'm still a noob, but yeah, I don't know that I'll have it in me to, especially if it's very time consuming. I don't know that I'll have it in me to farm for gems and stuff like that. But I don't know. I may eat my words later. Just we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't even know for sure how it all works yet with the FRC dungeons and everything. So still more to learn. Okay, let me make sure I know where I came from, and then start paying more attention here. And yeah, you'll see that I'm on a different build than I've been on. Just got up to the same point that I was on my skill character. This is a character that I'll be doing what will probably be my last Bloodborne YouTube series or whatever on it when I get ready to start that. This is a blood tinge build that's primarily made for the blood letter, but I don't have the blood letter yet, so mostly blood tinge with a little strength thrown in. None of my buttons are working the way I want them to. For some reason, my this attack right here didn't go off the first time on that dog, and that screwed me all up. I had to farm. Speaking of farming, I had to farm for Ritual Blood level 4, I guess is what it is, just to make the Ailing Loran Chalice. And I ain't gonna lie, I got a little frustrated because I did it. I jumped on. I had like an hour to play one day, and I was gonna knock out some. That was actually what I was gonna jump into next, was the Loran Chalice, and so got on and realized I couldn't even make it. Probably should have just used a mark to go back to the beginning. So yeah, I couldn't even make it, and then I had to look up how to farm it, and went to like a part of the lower. I can't remember where it was, but all I know is I had to farm 2 body snatcher dudes, the bag guys, and it probably took me like 15 runs. I'm going around in circles. Probably took me like 15 runs to actually get how many I needed. This is killing me. I didn't like the Chalice dungeons very much at that point, because it was exactly what I'm talking about with the editing. It was like, hang on. It was like, man, I want to be spending this time actually playing the game. Not, I really am. I'm a fan of farming in the right contexts. Like, I think I probably said this at some point while I was playing the base game, but the last farm I got like crazy into was on Neo 2. That's a game you can get sucked into farming hardcore. But I got deep into the farming runs on Neo 2. There's several games that farming actually is my fondest memories of. There's a silly game called Champions Online. It's like a superhero game, but it's fairly low quality. It was a free game for a long time on Steam. I assume it's still around. I don't know, but 10 plus years ago, I guess. It was when I was in college, and a couple of my friends and I just decided to play it almost as a joke. And then I got really into that game. Like, it had this entire, I don't know, man. It was like a community of people playing it. It was just different. It was just different than any game I'd ever played. There was this like really heavy, I don't know. There was a very heavy emphasis on character creation for one, and there was a pretty damn complex character creator where you could, really basically make your dude look however you wanted to. There was tons of really cool like cosplay type characters walking around, and like when you would see a really good like cosplay type, or an imitation of an actual character, not necessarily like a superhero, but like you'd see someone who created like Duke Nukem or something like that as in their character creator, and it would be really cool because 90% of people just had kind of random thrown together fairly cool looking superheroes, and then some people would go above and beyond to like really take the time to detail out some You know, like I said, either just a really like an extra cool looking character, or an imitation of something that was kind of funny, or that fellow there. Gonna be trouble. Okay, so let me get a layout of this down here, because I assume I'll be going there shortly. There's a door back there. There's a door right there. So anyway, in that game, I got really into farming this one item because my friend and I, they actually had, okay, in line with the character creation stuff, they had costume contests in that game, and people in certain guilds or whatever they were called would put on these costume contests, and they would declare prizes, right? They would say, like, you know, we're giving away this, and this for first, second, third place prizes for the costume contest. It's at this time at this location, and people would actually show up and like stand in line and have their you could redesign your character, you know, look at any point or whatever. So people would like spend a bunch of time in the character creation menu, make their character look cool or funny or whatever it was they were going for, and then they would line up, and these you know, guild managers or whatever would walk through. There would usually be a couple people. There'd be like one person actually like putting it on, that would be like giving the instructions and stuff in the chat, you know, party window, and then there would be a couple people who were just judges, and they would literally walk around slowly, like lore walking, up and down the aisles of people, and sometimes it would be like 50 to 100 people in long lines, lined up perfectly, like spaced from each other. You would expect it just to be chaos. And I was always super impressed at how seriously people impressed, and I thought it was super comical how seriously people took these costume contests. And so, and then you would have people that were just kind of observing from the outside, and that's usually what we did for a little while. We would just be like, dude, is this real? Are these real people? Like, and of course it was. And after I saw a couple, I had a certain respect for the community of Champions Online, just to, and I'm sure there's similar things in other games, but it was just something I'd never seen before. And so when we finally, my friend and I got to the point where we were kind of getting tired of it, there wasn't a whole lot more to do in the game itself. I got really good and really like obsessed with doing this one solo dungeon run to get one of the more rare items in the game. It was called Dark Speed, and it was just this guy is not very observant. Timeout. It was just a Dark Speed. Dark Speed was a type of, so like in that game, all the locomotion, or all your movement powers. Each character had a movement power, and it was all kind of, you know, based on what you would think. It was like different types of superhero. So you could, okay, this is trouble. You could fly, or you could have super speed like the Flash, and like have like kind of like sparks come off of you. Champions was not based on any. It wasn't like DC Online or anything. It wasn't actually based on any comic. It was just a generic superhero game. There was no, as far as I remember, there's no reference to any real comics. They have no licensing to use any real comics. So it's like a knockoff superhero game. But I don't know, man. Like I said, now I've went down this rabbit hole, and this has ended up just being praise of Champions Online. I actually think it works. Like it worked because of that, because it had no ties to any like oh, this is Superman. It was a good place for everyone to live out or come up with their own superheroes, which made it way more fun to me. I'm not really a comic guy. Like, I've never been. I like comic books more than I like the movies, but I couldn't even say I'm a fan of comic books. I've just never read that many. But I liked that game, and so end of the story is I got super into this farming run. Ended up farming one of those rare. Dark Speed was like a type of superhero travel ability that you could only get as a rare drop from this one dungeon or whatever. So and it was basically just like a super speed, but it had a different effect than the normal super speed in the game. So I ended up doing that and farming 3 of them, one for me and one for my friend, and then one that we decided to give away as the first place prize of a costume contest that we put on ourselves. And we had never seen, no one had ever given away something like that, like something that really took a long time to farm and stuff. We had only seen, like, I don't know, stuff that wasn't very good being given away, and people still showed up. So we knew that to combat the fact that we weren't even like part of we didn't have a group or a guild or whatever. We were just like 2 dudes. We were like, okay, to legitimize ourselves here, we're gonna have to give away something really good. So we did that Dark Speed thing, and people showed up like crazy, and we got to walk around and judge people's characters and outfits and stuff, and it was a good time, man. Honestly, it was one of the more memorable gaming experiences I've ever had, and it was partially because I got so good and so obsessed with doing that one run over and over and over, and I guess that was it wasn't the first time I'd farmed on a game, of course, but it was the first time that I guess it was the first time that I'd done something that many times to the point of basically perfecting it, and realized how satisfying that is. Like I found myself not care. Once we had quit playing the game after we had the big successful costume contest, and we kind of felt like we were, it was time to move on to other things. I found myself not really wanting to play the game, but I was like, man, I could jump in and do a couple of those, speed runs on that dungeon. Like I don't hate the sound of that at all. There's something just super satisfying. So, like, I guess that's it. It gave me I don't know, a reference point. Like I get why speedrunning is appealing, or why certain people love speedrunning so much. I get why, just the repetitive nature of mastering something to the point where, like some of these dudes do, where they can speedrun the game and literally not even take a hit, and it's not just skill, it's memorization and muscle memory, and then I would say it's mostly memorization and muscle memory, and then there are certain little points where things maybe don't go as planned and you have to react on the fly, and the combination of those two things, the combination of like getting to a point where something is so natural and so ingrained into you that you can almost just turn your brain off and do it, but then still having to be like vigilant enough to know that, like, when things go wrong, you've got to take over and make sure it doesn't get screwed up. And honestly, I can't imagine with one of those type runs. I get anxiety watching Who's the guy? Who's the guy that did the first like no-hit full run? I can't think of his name. I think he's a British dude. Happy Hop. Watching something like the Happy Hop do an absolute like full from soft run no hit. I mean, the that's a different level. I can't imagine subjecting myself to that kind of level of determination that it would take to get to that point. It seems maddening to me. But then again, I don't know. I can see how you could get there, because if I had more time I mean, I don't have it in me. Skill-wise, memory-wise, nothing. I just don't. I don't have it. I couldn't do it. But I could see myself maybe at a different time. If I would have found like speed running or whatever a little earlier in life, and had more time to devote to something like that, I can definitely see how it can become an absolute obsession. But I say all that to say, Champions Online is an awesome game, and I don't know. I don't know that I'll be doing any farming for gems on this game. I think I've done everything in this optional area. Maybe not, but that'll work. I definitely couldn't do things like speedrun and talk. That's beyond my. I can't even relate to that. I can't even do this. It's just me. It's just me here by myself talking. Like those dudes that do runs and also communicate with like people and watching their Twitch stream or whatever. That's just crazy. I cannot comprehend that level of multitasking. I literally can't do this right here. I can't play and also have thoughts out loud without just royally sucking at one or the other. So that is why I am not a successful Twitch streamer, or even a Twitch streamer at all. Okay. You seem not very scary. You have no chains on your back. You got a big slow gun that can't fire downwards. I like that these dudes have like the spikes and the candles on their back though. Full 360, huh? Alright, here we go. Nice. I did a whole lot of talking to be. It's the morning time. It's the morning time. I haven't even drank my coffee yet. I specifically told myself I'm gonna I'm gonna let people know. I'm gonna put the timestamps for boss fights, and then I'm just gonna chill and play. I'm not even gonna talk. And I've done the opposite of that. Man, I need to shut up. Let's see. This is a large room. Okay, so now I'm going to start talking out loud about things that'll actually help me. Because this is what I do. Even if I'm not recording, I do this shit right here by myself. I go, okay, 2 doors, 1 down. That looks like a treasure room down. Is this the room I just came out of? The big room? Yes. Let's hit up the treasure room. And doing that, like just saying what options I have and where I'm at, helps me so much in remembering. Where I've been and places that I need to go. Yeah, I think all this is lower level stuff than I need at this point. This is probably why most people skip this one. Is because you can probably just bypass it completely. Still get materials for the higher ones, because I'm not even getting any level 4s here, and that's what I needed for to make the Loran Chalice. So yeah, wait, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, did I clear? I think I pretty much. Alright, I'm gonna go back, go up the ladder, make sure that there was nothing else that way. This is not the way I said I was gonna go, but okay, yeah. So I think that's it. And if it's not, I don't need it anyway. I actually forgot. I said I also told myself I was gonna skip optional areas like that, but it's hard to. It's hard to. You get in these, you get in the habit of like, once you understand the patterns of these, how they're laid out, you know, like the pre-side area, and then the dungeon, and then the pre-boss area, and potentially a little random path in the pre-boss area. I got thoughts about these fences. Not specifically these fences, but Lawrence's skull. Have thoughts about Lawrence's skull I'm trying to form. Which I'm sure I will hopefully present in my don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, because it's not gonna be a lore through or a, I don't know, I guess just lore speculation run or something like that. Somebody help me come up with something clever. One of you guys that are crazy enough to listen to this and not click on the timestamps like any sane normal person should. Let me come up with a clever name for a video series that's basically just an amateur Bloodborne player who's played the game through twice, two and a half times, and still haven't I still haven't been able to allow myself to look at any lore videos, because every time I do, I've started a couple, every time I do, I'm like, this would be so much fun to do though, like to try to come up with like a theory for everything, fit the pieces together, fill in the blanks with my own speculations, try to build the world for myself before I jump into all the Vati videos and stuff like that. So still a big percentage of my brain, that whatever part of the brain that kicks on when you're bored and it just starts running in the background, that's just a constant spinning wheel of ideas about Bloodborne for the last few weeks, none of which are super deep, none of which I think are going to be things that anybody's going to be like, oh wow, like that's, I mean, obviously, like I know there's a ton of material out there, and the lore has probably been as established as super cryptic lore can be at this point, but I don't care. It seems so fun to just try to do it myself first. So I'm going to. I'm going to do it regardless of whether I record it or not. I figure, why not record it and put it out there? So, yeah. Somebody give me an idea for a name of everything I just said. Of an idiot Bloodborne amateur that's way late to the party, who just got in and fell in love with the game, trying to uncover its secrets. Easy. Loren's up next.